Aries Chiron is building closer proximity with Ceres in transit. And what this brings as a theme is where our maturity is at in self-care. The context of maturity here is advocating for yourself and your inner child through intimate opportunities. Listen to me. Please, listen to me. If you don't have the maturity for this, you're going to miss the opportunity. You're going to self-sabotage. You're going to run away. Because the past residue of South-Node Virgo is still telling you, I'm not perfect. I'm all screwed up. I have a mess right here. I have a mess right there. I am not ideal. I don't know what I'm doing in this area, or in this area, I just really dropped the ball. I made a mess. I didn't know how to clean it up. And this is what everybody has in their backyard. This is what everybody has in a closet. It's a mess at Virgo that you're not proud of. And it causes you to hide away instead of connecting, getting transparent about where some of those vulnerabilities can be. The intimate space allows you to open up and invite support, nurturing, assistance, insight, wisdom, care, concern, more creativity and encouragement to find the way out of it, to organize it, to put it together through synastry, opportunity. This requires us to be vulnerable enough to allow this process to happen and not resist it. Not justify taking off running because we don't want to be judged. We don't want to be criticized. We don't want to be rejected because of these blemishes. If you think back to when Black Moon Lilith was transiting Virgo, that's your issue right there. And when Mars was transiting Virgo 2025, or was it late 24? You can help me out in the comments. That transit was when you were working very hard to rectify that situation. And this was the dissatisfaction in yourself at the fact that you realize I'm not as perfect as a Pisces Neptune transit said I was supposed to be according to the collective ideal. Because when you look into that Pisces Neptune transit since 2011, it's been projected to us that you're supposed to have it all together. You're supposed to look like the picture. You're supposed to sound like the picture. You're supposed to be like the picture. And this attitude spread throughout society that if you are not perfect, if you don't have it all together, you don't count. You're not important. You get overlooked. You get left behind. You get rejected. You can't take up space. You're irrelevant. It was a wave of narcissism that spread over society. And the underdogs suffered the most. This is where those who operated through that type of energy, they're all going to fall from grace. They're all going to fall down, especially when Jupiter comes to Leo. They're going to get exposed. They're going to fall from grace because they have to go through karma to get real light instead of the light that Neptune Pisces transit gave them through the internet and through societal agreements that the internet seeded out into society that was fictitious, superficial, extravagant, arrogant. You don't have to hide anymore. It's our world now, the underdogs. And the underdogs, we are a clan. We are a nation. We are a group, a community that accepts the real person. We are a community of people who take value in the real person, the inner being, the inner self. And we see the estate of the wisdom that you have, the talents that you have, the gifts that you have. And we see how vulnerable you are because we ourselves are vulnerable. We cover each other because we know what it's like. This is the underdog's world now, and we can claim it now. It's ours. With Ceres coming to Chiron, it's about using the intimate connections and opportunities that you have in your life to undress yourself finally and say, I was counted out. I was rejected. I was put aside. And this is what I suffered. Nobody seen how valuable I was. Nobody seen how important I was. Nobody wanted to hear my ideas. Nobody wanted to see what I had to contribute. Nobody wanted to count me in. I kept getting the raw end of the stick because I couldn't live up to that image. I couldn't live up to that picture. I couldn't live up to what the internet was proposing. I couldn't live up to the ideals of the popular, the celebrities, the fancy people, the status quo, the in crowd, the popular, the false lights of Venus. I couldn't live up to it. So I hid away in this shadow, in this little hiding space that I have. I stayed right here where I can have covering from the enemies. And now that I have you, I want to open up. I want to let somebody know what I suffered, what I went through. I want to share. And you know what? I want to hear what you went through too. I want to hear your story. What did you go through? What did you suffer? Hey, I noticed you have a cut right there. You're still bleeding. Hey, let me pour water on that cut. Let me clean it for you. I know you can't reach it. You know what? I noticed you have one too. Let me clean your wound. You got a cut. You got a couple stabs on your back. You still got an arrow sticking out of your back. Let me help you. Let me pull it out and clean it. That's what our intimate spaces are supposed to be for. That's why we need it. We're going to have to be mature enough to allow this to be. We've got to father ourselves. When we father ourselves, there are things that we don't want to do because it makes us uncomfortable, it makes us feel vulnerable, but the father in us says, I'm sorry, you must do this because you have to care for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And this is where we practice submission with the self. This is where we practice submission with others. Uh-oh. I'm about to lose some people. Listen. Ceres requires submission because it's about care. The care that we really need. And submission, unlike traditionally assumed, it's not about a woman listening to a man. For God's sake, no. It's not about that. Being a man doesn't warrant you for somebody else to submit to you. Having a fatherly intention is what warrants submission. Having a motherly intention is what warrants submission. And that is Leo and Cancer intention for the self. The mother and the father. When it comes to discipline factors, when it comes to accountability, that would be Capricorn, as the father. Okay? So stay with me. The sun and the moon, okay? Mother and father, listen to me. Sun and moon, Leo and Cancer, mother and father. So, in the intimate space, When someone is saying something to me or advising me, showing concern, or if they have advice or instructions for me according to what they're hearing, out of love, out of the motherly intention, out of the fatherly intention, I must submit to that advice. I must submit to that insight. I must submit to those instructions. It doesn't mean that you have to do what they say. It means that you must humble yourself and consider that God is speaking through somebody right now. And it's in your best interest to get out of the way of your ego. It's in your best interest not to deflect or get defensive. It's in your best interest not to be arrogant, but to be humble and listen. Consider it, weigh it, and find a way to manifest that care over yourself, that concern over yourself, that responsibility that you have to yourself that you may have neglected or overlooked. Ceres coming to Chiron is in an intimate space. Somebody gets to see where you were injured and how you were injured, and they have feedback for you. And that feedback is going to make you feel defensive. It's not going to be comfortable. Submission is not about bowing to a person. Submission can take place when a child speaks. Your child can say something in your best interest. Mommy, I feel uncomfortable when you dress like that. Why is your dress so short? Why are your clothes so short? You need to show submission to what your child is saying because it's in your best interest, and get out of the way of your damn ego. Dad, I don't like when you get frustrated like that. You get upset and then everybody feels uncomfortable, and I don't know. I feel unhappy when you have to show submission to that. There's authority that comes with these voices. There's authority that comes with these concerns through Ceres. I want us to understand that. We've got to practice submission if we are going to bring the proper care and healing and nurturing to Chiron and Aries, which is our identity. If we can't practice submission, we cannot heal the identity properly, and we cannot nurture the identity properly. We have to practice submission. If you're not in an intimate space or opening up to an intimate space, or if you're not welcoming to intimacy in your life, you can't practice this. You don't have that practice. And an intimate space doesn't mean that it's somebody that you fucking. Can we please stop reducing the shit to this? Society is, a job has been done on us with the perversion and what intimacy really is. All right? So, with this discourse, I want us to consider that it's time for us to start practicing submission. Don't fall for the shame tactics out there in the world. But people say, oh, you gonna listen to her? Oh, you gonna listen to him? Yes, I'm going to listen to what they had to say because it's in my best interest. It might not be convenient for me. I might not like it. Hey, I noticed you got it cut right there. It looks really bad. Do you think that maybe you should go see a doctor for it? Oh, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm tough. Blah, blah, blah. No, you have to show submission because you're not honoring yourself. You're not respecting yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. You're betraying yourself because you won't listen to that fatherly or motherly advice to you. We can't continue to do that. Hey, I noticed that, you let people, you let that person talk to you why you let that person talk to you like that? That really bothered me. They would talk to you any kind of way. You just stood there and took it. Why did you do that? How do you feel inside? What do you think about that? You owe submission to that person's concern. So let's get out of the feminism. Let's get out of the misogyny, and let's stop with the assumptions that is specific to a male or female and understand that all of us owe submission to whoever speaks or advocates in our best interest at any given time. And it don't matter who the fuck it comes from. Oh, I don't like that person, so I'm not going to listen. Well, I don't like who said it. I don't like the way you... This is immaturity, and it's not helping us. We're going to have to focus and come out of the wrong influences to save ourselves. This brings me to another point. Cover each other's faults. Protect each other's secrets. Do not betray someone who's trusting you in that vulnerable space, that intimate space with their secrets, with their weaknesses, with their vulnerabilities. Do not betray. Don't gossip about the person. Don't talk about the person. Don't expose the person. Cover them. Guard them. Hide them under your wing as they heal. Get rid of your fucking arrogance, for God's sake, of thinking that you're just the king of all wisdom. You're just the all-knowing source. And it's only you to heal that person, or it's only you to nurture that person, but they have no nurturing to offer to you. No, open your ears. I think not. Listen very carefully, because as you are healing someone, they also have the power to heal you. As you are nurturing someone, they also have the power to nurture you. But you have to get out of your way. The arrogance is in the fucking way. And if we can't refuse this lesson, because Jupiter is coming to Leo, South Node, and this is going to be an ongoing lesson for us for 18 months. Getting out of your way. Killing your ego. Accepting the support and the love. This manifests Aquarius as we are connected as co-creators, co-visionaries. Honoring the autonomy of each other, the greatness of each other, the uniqueness of each other, the powers and authorities that come with each other. We are gods now. It is revealed that we are gods now. And we will operate in that way. All right, I'm going to take my time with this one, you heard? What we're going to talk about is, I want you to observe your Aries placement for this discourse. Aries. Let's look at Aries. Aries is where you have to learn to stop asking permission. You got to stop asking for permission. Shame tactics will continue to work very well on you if you don't learn this. The shaming tactics. If you don't learn this. Shame is a powerful control mechanism. It's a way to keep you in check. It's a way to keep you hesitant. It's a way to keep you doubting yourself and questioning yourself about what you are authorized to initiate, what you are authorized to assert. The Aries spirit in and of itself is authorization. You wouldn't feel the conviction to initiate to get something started, to pop something off, if it wasn't a divine schedule or meaning behind it. The connection to matriarchal source is what allows us to govern this impulse within the laws of matriarchal authority. The laws of matriarchal authority keeps us consistent and out of violation with the powers and authorities of this universe. That is what keeps you authorized always, regardless of what somebody think, feel, or prefer for you to do. So there is no karmic follow-up for you if you are consistent with the matriarchal law Cancer source. Understand that. As Prophet Muhammad once said, if you feel no shame, then do as you will. This doesn't mean to be shameless. It means trust yourself, trust your conviction. Do not take ownership of shame that is assigned to you from others for what you are here to initiate and create without permission. You don't need no permission slip to act through Aries. You need a conscience to act through Aries. Not a permission slip, a conscience. Aries is the active youthful behavior of the child whose mother is Cancer. And your conscience, not conscious, your conscience, conscience. This is the child who looks at the eyes of the mother before he takes action. That's who you consult. That's who you check in with. And that is internal. That's where the supreme law of the land is at. But you can't continue to look for the consent of maritime law, which is that law which is alien to your territory of the inner self. Bringing de facto policy of others' opinions and assumptions over you and judgments over you to shame you back into their control and comfort and securities. You gotta stop your Tim boots on this shit. Let your dick hang. Chiron and Aries. It hurts to be me. I've been through a lot because I now feel like I can't take up the space that I've always wanted to take up. I can't assume that I'm authorized to initiate what I know I'm here to initiate. But the matrix around me miseducated me into thinking that I'm not authorized. But you are. There is just the one thing missing. Are you connected to matriarchal source? Do you have a conscience behind what you want to do, behind what you are compelled to do, behind the conviction that you have in yourself to take action and assert, to say go? Aries Chiron. This wound is a testimony. We can't manifest Aquarius without healing this, because Aquarius is a collective presence that we're supposed to have. And that collective presence is the authenticity of our presence for a cause, rather small or great. The cause in the relationship, the cause in the family, the cause on the work site, the cause in your career, the cause in the public, in the community, the cause in your demographic, the cause in your nation, whatever that cause may be, I need you to be authentic. I need me to be authentic. We all need to be authentic if our gift is to channel the solutions, the way forward, the answer to the necessity that demands our service. Superficiality surrounds every environment with cowardice, cosplay, performative behaviors and intentions. The reasons why many people do the things that they do is because they're looking for approval. They're looking for somebody to pat them on the head and say, good boy. They're looking for a Scooby snack. Trying to look good in the eyes of massa. And the story always goes the same way with such persons. They're the ones who backstab, who betray, who gossip, who lie, who sow confusion and division, animosity. They're the ones who cause trouble. They're the ones who prevent evolution. Because of the desperation for control. Control of the process. Control of the narrative. Control of the status. Control of resources. Control freaks. They require your consent to operate in such a way. We are resending that. Collectively, we're resending it from these inappropriate powers. We're in a forward direction now, and you have to keep your head looking forward. Not looking back so you can turn into stone. Looking forward, you are going to revisit those same vulnerabilities, the sense of inadequacies. You are Moses, who God said, go to Pharaoh and tell him, let my people go. And you feel inadequate for that mission. You feel like you can't do it. But what did Moses do when he was asked? This is consistent in biblical texts as well as Quran. What Moses asked is for the support of his brother, for the blessing of his brother to assist him in what he was asked to do. He also prayed that his breast would be expanded, which is his confidence, and that the knot in his tongue would be loosened, in which he had a speech impediment. He acknowledged his inadequacies. He acknowledged his imperfections. And this is consistent with Virgo South Node. Learning to acknowledge our imperfections and inadequacies instead of trying to smooth it over with arrogance, narcissism, and performative delusions of ourselves that we hope other people believe about us. He acknowledged it, and he asked for help. And this is where Ceres comes into the situation in conjunction with Chiron, which is coming up the end of February. Ceres is about the care that you need. It's about the nurturing that you need. It's about the support that you really need. It's about the help that you see you need. Why? Because you're acknowledging the inadequacies that you already have with Chiron. And through your maturity this time, through your self-acceptance this time, your resilience this time, your clarity in your identity this time, your humility this time, you understand that if you are to express love and respect for the self, care for the self, you have to ask for help and you have to ask for support. You have to allow others to support you and help you. You have to acknowledge what it is that you do not have, but you need. What is accessible to you? Who can you get involved? And what decisions can you make to provide for the self? What is missing? What is lacking? What is inadequate? It's no longer an option to shrink yourself, to silence yourself, to hesitate. You're going to need alliances. You're going to need a support system. This brings us back to, have we learned intimacy yet? If you haven't learned intimacy yet, you're going to have a hard time. If you're still among those who think that intimacy is about sex, God help you. You're standing upside down. It doesn't take a crowd. It takes one or a few. This is where we lose our self-importance, where we put the mission above ourselves. South Node Leo is coming up. Pay attention. Grace comes through this selection. If we can select to lose the importance of self and accept the importance of the mission that we have, that which we are here to do collectively, Jupiter extends his grace. If not, Jupiter only expands the sickness. It only expands the superficiality, the peacock syndrome, the arrogance, the narcissism, and the desire to be center stage. And you will not get those results. You will get quite the opposite, which is humiliation. There's a polarity with this. And the polarity with this is that some of you have been too closed off and some of you have been too open. You have to go in the closet and look in the mirror and ask God which one that you are. You have to confess in the closet. That's your confession. Which one are you? Have you been reckless in giving access to just anybody in your life? An open door. Sharing all of your secrets, all of your gifts. Telling your dreams and your visions to everyone only so they can spoil, ruin it, and destroy it and curse it. To know your secrets so they could use it against you. Study you. So they can hit you right where it hurts. The Jezebels who come to take your crown. Sowing seeds of doubt in you. Could you have been closed off, a little too proud? Too attached to past themes of betrayal, rejection, and other misfortunes. It starts with us identifying and confessing that this is the case. And we should have realized that with the shadow work of Scorpio 2025, Scorpio stellium. Understand? Understand? We should have realized this 2025 Mars retrograde Cancer. Understand? Get out your notes. A little reflection, a little review. What does Ceres bring together with Chiron? It brings together the fact that it's time to nurture, to dress the womb, to pour oil on the womb, to clean that womb, to tie it up and wrap it up, because we must go forward. You can't sit there crying in the field with cuts and scrapes. Because it's a whole lot more banging to do. Pick up your sword, pick up your shield. You have to keep going. Bullet holes, cuts and scrapes, you must keep going. This is trauma response in the field. Someone could want to support you. Someone could want to nurture you. Someone could want to love on you. Someone could want to help you. But when they reach for you, you act like the scared dog in the corner who was traumatized, and you bite their hand. You growl at them. It's understandable, but you've got to do something about that. Self-love and self-care, it demands that we step in a vulnerable space to allow ourselves to have the care that we really need. That is part of maturity, to recognize that it is available to us, that it is accessible to us, and to see the bigger picture beyond our ego and the injuries to our ego. We've got to get beyond it. If you think you're going to hide away behind a bush, behind a tree, crying and loathing, you're only delaying the fact that soon your head will be cut off. And you have nobody to blame but yourself. Aries is a code of war. It is a stage of war. And you are preparing for that war in a spiritual sense. You have to stand up and continue fighting. And this is the wisdom in which we do so. Let me clarify the difference between healing and nurturing. Many in the past have said I'm on a healing journey, especially these feminist broads all over social media. I'm 42 years old, and I've been hearing bitches for 42 years all over the place talking about the healing journey. I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, and it's a goddamn lie. Ain't nobody fucking healing. Because they don't know how to heal. Don't know the first goddamn thing about healing. A damn lie. You don't heal from comforts. You don't heal by running away. You don't heal by cutting everybody off. You don't heal by isolating yourself into eternity. You don't heal by leaning into arrogance and narcissism and delusional concepts of yourself, overestimations of your value. Because your soul will expose you in contradiction every time that you are not healed. You're only recreating the same trauma that hurt you in the first damn place. How do we heal? We heal by redefining the pain. We heal by giving it a proper name. That's how you heal. What is the proper name of what you feel and what you're suffering? How do you identify what you're feeling and what you're suffering? How do you name and identify the trauma that is with you? What did it come to teach you? Are you a victim of someone, or were you a student of their soul? This has to be clarified, and that is how the healing begins. What was it that my soul had to learn through this pain? As pain is an awakener, it gets my attention. It directs my attention to where I must focus, to where I must study, to where I must labor to understand what proper name to assign to that pain. And giving that name, that pain, a proper name, through studying it instead of fearing it, through accepting its message instead of deflecting or rejecting it, covering it up with indulgence in the five senses, distractions, lust, greed, addictions, novelties, and trauma bonding. We get to the ancestral mission. We transmute venom into antidote. We become the alchemist. And this can only be done through Scorpio and Virgo energies. The appropriation of your sexual energy. It's to no surprise that a lifestyle of fornication, promiscuity, it destroys and pulverizes your ability to do that process, to commit to that process. You will remain confused in a toxic mess of yourself, contaminating others everywhere you go. And it doesn't matter how beautiful or pretty or handsome you are on the outside, how accomplished you may seem to be. The bats will still swarm around your fucking head. The dark cloud will still follow you and transfer the darkness into other people's life. Everywhere you go, a curse follows. Because all you can come up with is to fuck a little more, suck a little more, lay on your back, fall into some pussy, smoke a little more, drink a little more, turn the music up, hide in noise and distractions, anything but listen to yourself, anything but find a way to get alone, to connect. You're about to realize that you need covering to go forward. You're on the battlefield. And with Neptune and Saturn and Aries, everyone now becomes a comrade. They are your war comrades. Cover my back. Keep eye on my vulnerabilities. I will cover your back and keep eye on your vulnerabilities. And this justifies intimacy. That is the context of intimacy in this particular season. Not how you could get your dick wet. Not who you can possess and become obsessed with in romantic novelties. You have to survive the battlefield in the spiritual war. Who do you have? Who are you pretending not to have? We run away from the very ones who are said to be the heroes in our life. And we run into the arms of the very ones who turn out to be the enemies in our life. And we pretend like we didn't know it in the first damn place. We pretend like we didn't see the signs, like we didn't know any better. We pretend. We pretend not to know. Because what you're avoiding is change. What you're afraid of is change. You realize you will have to change if you are loved properly. You will have to surrender if you are loved properly. You will have to be vulnerable if you are loved properly. You are going to have to mature if you are going to be loved properly. You're going to have to find commitment if you're going to love and be loved properly. But it's the only way out for you now. So what will you do? Taking care of yourself could mean surrendering to inconvenient circumstances. Assigning trust that forces you to grow because you can't confirm what you can expect around the corner or later on. To open up and receive what is there available as an offering to you from someone who may love you, someone who may care about you or see the best in you and want to call it out of you. Growth is painful. Healing is painful. It would do you well to stop listening to women on the internet misleading you. I'm sorry, the sisterhood is the worst thing that you could ever listen to in this world. Don't none of them know what the fuck they talking about. And I've been listening to this shit all my fucking life. The lies. You can't play this time. We don't have that grace. We don't have that luxury anymore. You got to get it together. You got to get it together yesterday. Scorpio and Aries. These are the war stages. And Scorpio approaches war through intimacy. It is a house of intimacy. It is the algorithm of intimacy. It is the power of intimacy. It is the wisdom of intimacy. It is the transformative powers and substance of intimacy. But it's not for the weak. It's only for the brave. It's for the real. It's for the sincere. It's for the truthful. It's for the loyal. It's for the transparent. Perhaps that is what you fear you cannot come up with. Maybe you fear that you will fail in your end of the commitment, your end of the contract. Maybe you feel you can't uphold it. You don't trust yourself. Why is that? There is much we are supposed to be learning about ourselves. How do you spend your time? How do you spend your time? If you can get sex out of the way and see intimacy as the vehicle, the protective force field that allows you to enter any battlefield at any given time, resilient, unscathed, brave, enduring, resilient, powerful. If only you can see it. Why is it, and who taught you this, that when it comes to intimacy, if it's not about you strategizing how to possess someone or what lust you can express, you have nothing to say. You have nothing to share. You have nothing to talk about. You don't see something wrong with that? Why is that? Why are you lost when sex is not on the table? If you're dealing with somebody and they don't go into the subject matter of fucking and sucking, obsessing over emotional feelings, romanticizing you and what it means to be together. If this is not the subject matter, you're quiet and you're lost. You feel awkward. You don't know what to do with the power of Scorpio. You're missing out. You're missing out. That intimate space is where the identity is resurrected. It remains protected, covered, nurtured. It remains aligned with truth through loyalty. It remains resilient by acknowledging that death is the access to new life. So what harm can anyone or anything do to me? If I reach the point of death, if I meet the face of death, it only initiates my rebirth. So what failure do I fear? What insult do I fear? What harm do I fear? What injury do I fear? Every harm and injury is an initiation into a new level of power. And through the intimate space, it accelerates, it quickens to that state. Empowering the first house in Aries. Who sees you for who you are? Undressed, without a mask, having to put on an act, be something that you're not. Who's there? Who's at your cross like Mary Magdalene? Every time you're crucified, you're nailed there, helpless, in all of your humility and humiliation, and all of your weakness and the limitations of your power. Who do you know can be there like Mary Magdalene? That is intimacy, and she was teaching us intimacy. She shared the same name as his mother, Mary. Which points at Virgo. You either rebirth through Virgo or you resurrect through Scorpio. But death is not the end. Hurt, injury, Trauma is not the end. It's only the beginning of greater resilience and empowerment. But how lazy we have become. We want everything at the finish line. We want everything as a finished product. The entitlement. You don't want to work for anything. You don't want to participate. You don't want to be mutual. Do you feel bankrupt, like you have nothing to offer? Besides pussy, dick, and a stick of bubble gum? That's all you got to offer? When that's not on the table, do you feel like you have anything to offer? What you got? Pat down your pockets? What you got? What you got besides that? Fuck your pussy. I don't want that shit. What you got? What you got for me? I know what I got for you. What you got for me? What, another prostitution proposal? In exchange for an illusion of intimacy? A price? A debt? A burden? A liability? Stress? Obligation? We have misunderstood the assignment because of our arrogance. That's not what intimacy is for. Scorpio recovers truth that has to find its way back into acceptance, acknowledgement, and due process. It has to re-enter the courts of justice. And that's a fight, that's a battle. Sagittarius has the affidavit. And you got to beat that case. There's a case against you. Who are your witnesses in this world? Who are your witnesses in this life to the truth that you see, that you're convicted with? Those are your intimate companions. How could you betray them and run into the arms of who you know is the enemy because you're looking to satisfy your addictions and your lusts? And years down the road, you're looking for the same person who you knew you should have opened up to in the first damn place. You betrayed yourself. And oh, how it costs. It costs at the most inconvenient times. You're old and gray, cold and lonely, because you played that game. You fucked around and found out. Ceres is going to have us to acknowledge what we really need to move forward. What it's really going to take to heal ourselves, to father ourselves forward, to mentor ourselves forward, to parent our inner child forward. Because we have to do it all over again. We have to relearn how to stand independently on our own. Because we were made dependent upon an illusion in this matrix, the fictitious character. Illusions of lust, greed, consumption, competition, exploitation of that which is beautiful in this life, thus returning us to the rebirth through South Node, Virgo. Number 9. Number 9 saving us from the detriment of Venus. We're coming to the other side of Venus, the illumination of Venus. After we learn wisdom from the shadows of Venus. She's a great teacher. Healing and nurturing now comes together. You are injured and your companion or comrades are also injured. You all took shots in the battlefield, but it has to be clarified. Why are you fighting? What is this war about? What is the mission? Does it feel awkward for you to live with purpose beyond a job title, beyond chewing the cud, laughing and giggling, eating, drinking, and being merry? Does it feel awkward for you to locate a purpose in your life? Why are you living? Why are you here? You're here to come back and save the victim at your 12th house, which is you. But you show up in the form of those who are you in that same energy of self-entrapment at the 12th house, self-undoing in the 12th house. And you had to suffer it first so that you have the compassion to show up with the empathy. You had to walk through the lanes of that wilderness so you know how to find them and locate them. How will you know if you weren't there yourself? POW. You're here for the POWs who are really you. You're going to leave them behind enemy lines? No, you have to go back and get them. You've got to go and save them. And they are you. Particular energies, particular spirits who suffer that which you yourself have suffered at the 12th house. It's your assignment. And you have everything you need to do it. But you have to learn to work with others. You have to learn to let love in. You have to learn to stay in the intimate space and focus. This culture that we had here in the Western America, it didn't do us a favor. Serial dating, boyfriend, girlfriend. Everything's about fun and jokes, laughter, pleasure, getting a nut. Make me happy, make me feel secure, take my tears away. We didn't come here for that. But it benefited somebody for us to believe that. Man is not for that purpose. Woman is not for that purpose. And it should be clarified today. We fail to sustain maturity, seriousness, purpose, and intent when it comes to why we come together and connect in the first place. And it becomes emotional attachments that exposes the fact that we never survived what we went through in childhood, trauma, generational curses, all that we consented to, that we want to pretend and deny that we haven't. Why does boy meet girl? Why is man attracted to woman and woman attracted to man? Why? You can't define that until you get out of the wilderness of the corporate intention and all of the junk that went along with it. You won't know what to do with a woman. You won't know what to do with a man if you can't get there. You're lost. The only thing you can apply it to is your stomach and what you can consume. Your five senses and how much pleasure you can extract out of somebody. Like a drug addict. Visionaries, dreamers, creators, co-creators, initiators, healers, teachers, protectors, defenders, warriors, priests, high priests, fathers, mothers, mentors, guides, servants. Why can't we find it in each other? Why can't we see it in each other? It's because we can't see it in ourselves. You can't see in somebody else what you fail to see in yourself. You can't see deeper into somebody else than the depth that you have seen in yourself. You can't appreciate anybody at a depth that you have not appreciated in depth in yourself. Self is the limitation. And that right there exposes why you don't know what the fuck to do with a woman and you don't know what the hell to do with a goddamn man. Because you don't know what to do with your damn self. You haven't met yourself. Every woman that came in your life, every man that came in your life, you never met them. Because you never met yourself. You came to hurt each other, bang each other up, exchange bruises and cuts and injuries. And then go on about your life talking shit about the person. Like somebody did you dirty. No, they reflected how dirty you did yourself. Riddle me that. Why don't you feel free in your identity? I know it hurts to be yourself. Take up space. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to disagree. Somebody's going to challenge me. Oh, well, get over it. Fucking get over it. This is why boyfriend, girlfriend is a fucking joke. You need witnesses, not boyfriend, girlfriend. You need medics, not boyfriend, girlfriend. A king needs a priest, a priestess. A queen needs a priest. A builder needs a visionary. What are we missing? Why can't we connect the dots? Why don't we have real lovers? But you really love somebody, and there's purpose behind it. There's intention, fulfillment. You know between each other that you are here for a reason. There's an assignment. And every morning you are eager to get up and dream and execute again. But you think it's in the high and lofty, the fancy. No. It's the common man and woman who's at your goddamn level that you're too arrogant to consider, to acknowledge and look at and appreciate and validate into your life. You refuse to do it because your insecurity suggests that you had to give an overestimation of yourself so you can't notice your soulmate. You don't see her or him. You see your sickness that you want to hide behind. A status that you want to hide behind. Because inside you're inadequate. You're bankrupt. There's nothing to offer. Every man and woman has something to offer, but you have to find that treasure, uncover it, dig it up, bring it on the surface. And that's what goes on the table. What do you bring to the table? What have you learned? What have you mastered? What do you see? What is love telling you that you must create? What is truth telling you that you're here to be? Who is our common enemy? People, legacy is calling us. Legacy calls us. This is the beginning of new legacy. The restoration of legacy. We're at the grassroots of legacy, and these things must be clarified. It has to be clarified because legacy is what we must leave. Death is promised to every one of us. We're not here for long. It's a very short time. Just a week ago, I was working at a construction site that wasn't far from where I was with one of my most beloved teachers, Sheikh Muhammad Adli. It's like a father to me. And something in my spirit told me to go and see about him, and I did. I went to the mosque, and many things, very emotional, took place, but joyful. And in seeing him, I could not resist but to fall to the floor and thank him for all that he taught me. I had to fall to the floor to where his feet were. I had to fall to his feet because that's the humility that I felt. And thank him. I cried like a baby when I seen him because I love him that much. And it really awakened a revelation in me that time is so limited and death is always so near. And seeing how old age has taken over him. And he used to be so strong, so energized. A man who I wanted to be like. And I'm looking at myself, 6'2", 276 pounds or so, strong, healthy, big ass black man. And I'm standing over this small, frail Egyptian man with white hair, long beard. And all I could feel in myself is, my strength is for you, the elder. My courage is for you, my elder. The fire that I know I have in myself, the warrior that I know I have in myself is for you, the elder. What good is my strength if it's not serving such? It means nothing. This big, strong man, it means nothing if it's not serving. Matriarchal source. And it's not specifically him. It is an archetype, what he represents, the principle that there is legacy, that our strength is supposed to serve. Life carries no meaning if that's not the case. So obligation was revived in me, intensified in me. that I have a limited time to leave legacy. And so do you. Man and woman comes together to fuse legacy. It is legacy. Legacy is not to come together to express greed, status, take pictures for everybody to envy. Oh, look at what we bought. Look at what we have. Ooh, look at our nice matching outfits. We just bought a new car. Yeah, we just got this nice house right here. Yeah. Everybody look at us. Relationship goals, right? Yeah, look at my woman. She look good, don't she? Yeah, look at my man. Yeah, y'all want to be with him, huh? Yeah. Where pornography exposes you as a man, where novelty exposes you as a woman, that you both are delusional, and it's all you really want out of each other. It's to manifest what you're doing with pornography and to manifest what you're doing with novelties. You want that person to be what you seen in pornography, and you want that person to be what you meditated on in delusional novelties of romance. And that's why you come together to do nothing but injure each other. You do nothing but come together to hurt each other for that reason. Because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to continue the legacy of pornography and romantic novelties. It backfires on you. Legacy. What will outlive you that benefits everyone after you? What is the necessity that you both see in light of your testimonies, in light of your struggles and sufferings, in light of your compassion? How can you use your identity, your talents, your gifts, your wisdom, your skills, your experience to lay the first bricks? You don't have to build the whole thing. Maybe it's for you just to lay the first bricks. Maybe it's for you to clear the plot, to clear the lot, to clear the land. And those who come after you can lay the bricks. Maybe it's for you to clear the way so those after you can have a pathway to walk through. But can we rise above mutual prostitution with each other in the sexes? Can we rise above that and get to the purpose for why we come together? Get yourself out of the way. South Node Leo is next. Get yourself out of the way. You're a great man, but a great man for what? You're a great woman, but a great woman for what? Don't be a great woman for me, because I'm not going to be a great man for you. I want you to be a great woman for the cause that we came together for, and I'll be a great man for the cause that we came together for. And mutually, we can patch up each other's cuts and wounds in that pursuit. But don't live for me, because I don't want you living for me. Don't live for me, because I'm not going to live for you. We're going to live for the purpose. and make it as painless as possible with our power mutually in the space and territories of intimacy. That's what we're here to do. But we've been selfish. How long does it take to heal and overcome from traumas of what you did with a dick and a damn pussy? Your whole fucking life you spend healing from that shit. You become toxic, negative. You go on revenge. You start protesting and do further damage to yourself in what you think is liberation. Why can't anybody concentrate anymore on anyone? Where's it at? Or proper expression, concentrate with someone, not on someone. Don't live for me because I'm not going to live for you. Live for the purpose. If you have good character, you do so for your own soul. If you're a good person, you do so for your own soul. If you practice compassion, empathy, care for other people, you do so for your own soul. But we may be doing too much with the expectations and entitlement. What's the mission? What care is required? You go on a construction site, you need safety equipment, do you not? You have to have a hard hat, safety glasses, steel-toe boots, high visibility vest, a harness, lanyards for your tools, right? There's safety protocol to observe. Productivity and safety competes with each other. There's pain in the productivity, Chiron, Aries. But safety is going to compete with the impulses to perform. And this is the importance of divine masculine and divine feminine working together in unison. The masculine principle wants to perform. It wants to act. It's impulsive. It wants to go. But the feminine principle says, safety first. Tie off. Where's your harness? Before you cut that wood, put some safety glass, put some goggles on. Where's your gloves? We don't know our roles in this world. Feminism has females fighting against their damn selves and they can't even see it. You're fighting yourself. We've lost contact with that. Productivity and safety culture is one. Safety has to have a culture because it has to have systematic strategies that solve problems. Because those systematic strategies, it has to be intuitive, not thought through. Intuitive. Because opportunities and circumstances for danger, injuries, misfortunes, they are not always detectable. Our awareness does not always catch it. So it must be in culture. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's the first thing you learn in business. That's the divine feminine. Divine feminine is not only isolated to a woman. Divine masculine is not only isolated to a man. Please, let's understand that. What legacy are you here to bring? Did you assume that you were bringing a legacy by yourself? You're kidding yourself. You're lying. You're kidding yourself. Your legacy will die with you. And after a few years, ain't nobody gonna remember your name. Don't kid yourself. You become one with the dirt and that's it. Don't kid yourself. You better leave something here. Something lasting, something that means something. And see that you have to use your entire being to make sure it happens. We know that Ceres brings together intuitive value of Virgo, Cancer, and Taurus. Virgo, Cancer, and Taurus. Cancer has the emotional context of what we need to feel emotionally secure and advocated for, and the inevitable resistance that's ahead. And you have to facilitate and produce a culture that fortifies you against that within your intimate world. As for Virgo, it has to do with self-care. In the sixth house, that is, what informs the systems that you put in place. It needs to be efficient. There has to be a consistent commitment to refinement. Refinement is every day. You can't live off a refinement of yesterday. You have to continue that process of refinement today, because all things ages. Everything ages. So refinement is a continuum. It is a time continuum. The sixth house is a time continuum. As for Virgo, it includes your 12th house process, your 12th house obligations, the spirit self, and that care that's required. The generational curses that you have to remain in authority to, not subject to. The shadow aspects of those planets in your 12th house that you have to stay in command of, not victim of. Isolation that you have to learn to appreciate and not get lost in other people, not get lost in other things. But through Vesta, you find the way to pull yourself out and recommit yourself to yourself. Remaining connected to Source. Out of the clutches of the detriment of Venus, in which you become a prostitute and a slave to your desires. That is part of care, self-care. You have to step back and take care of yourself. You have to step back and clarify yourself. You have to step back and clean off yourself, purify yourself. Not indulge because you got a boyfriend. Indulge because you got a girlfriend. And now you done forgot every goddamn thing because you baby all fucking night. Turning isolation into solitude. Solitude is what keeps you authentic. Authenticity is the only approach to Aries. Without authenticity, you will always be in hesitation. You will always be in confusion in what you should assert or initiate. Then you become the one looking for permission. Then you become the one who falls into codependency, which takes you out of Aries back into its polarity Libra. In detriment, and we learned that South Node Libra, did we not? Taurus. Ceres fulfills Taurus. You have to maintain quality in your life. Quality has to reflect in your life. If it doesn't endure, if it's not going to be lasting, if it's not a worthwhile investment, if you think you're going to get value out of something without doing the work of cultivation in order to see its value, you are simply entitled. You are a fugitive. It is to commit to the process of cultivation in your life. To understand that through cultivation, you will always see value in yourself. Through cultivation, you will always see value in that which you put your hands to. Through sincerity, which represents Taurus, you stay true to yourself. Taurus represents the second house, which upholds the first house. It pronounces the values that's expressed through the first house. It also clarifies where we need boundaries in order to preserve those values, setting ourselves apart from others, honoring our individuality as we connect with others. And that is the stable ground in which we stand. What are your values? Your care is in your values and remembering them. And in the intimate space, you have to have somebody that reminds you of what your values are, because you will forget. Somebody has to remind you of what you believe in, because you will forget. Somebody has to remind you of what you said you will do, of who you said you will be. Someone has to remind you when everything out there confuses you about yourself and restore the clarity in your identity. That's what intimacy is for. Who will remind you of your grassroots? Who will remind you of your values and what you believe in? Who will show you that you're compromising a little too much? That you're lacking boundaries here? We need a steady course. Taurus. You have to identify what is the estate. The estate that I'm investing in. The estate in which I'm cultivating fruits in my life. Where is that estate? What is my estate? What are the assets in me in spirit? That's consistent with your jurisdiction. Your estate is what you bring to the so-called table. Your second house. What do you bring to the table? Your second house. The table is the 8th house. Second house makes 8th house. In synastry. Thus, table. It might be your checkbook. It might be wisdom. It might be skills. It might even be just your influence, your creativity, your ability to take concepts and make sense of it, to take dreams and make a process of it or procedure. You can't be all things, but somebody in your life has to be the right thing to allow you to be effective. You might have all of the fiery creativity, but lack the competent skill set to mobilize it. Intimacy is the domain by which this remains in unison. A self-generated vehicle that delivers the legacy. It's complementary, not competition. I want us to ponder these things. I want us to reflect on these things. And I want us to have a different attitude about how we approach relationships, how we initiate relationships, and why the fuck we even doing it. Challenge ourselves. Challenge each other. How good at you are making somebody else feel safe about being so fucked up? Do you know how to protect somebody's secrets, vulnerabilities, imperfections, to where they're able to finally accept that they're just as fucked up as anybody else without feeling ashamed about it? Yeah. All of us are fucked up. That intimate space is where we feel it's okay to be fucked up while we figure it out. And somebody's there to help you to figure it out, not judge you, make you feel small about it, encourage you. Failure then becomes a means to wisdom, a means for insight. Because I have connection to intimacy, I can bring it back to the sacred intimate space, and I can make notes. I can re-strategize. Under a trust, a sacred space. This is available to us in different ways. But I don't want to hear that shit of, oh, I don't have nobody. You do. Who you have and what you have may not be traditionally sound. It may not be traditionally formed, but it's accessible. We're not operating off of tradition. We're in Aquarius energy. Open your mind.